So,
Sorry,
hello.
apologies.
Okay, no issues. We are just about to start. Yeah. So, hello everyone. Thanks a lot for joining in. So, we have Ruchi Chaturvedi, who's a talent and diversity leader. She'll be moderating today's session. So, yeah, over to you, Ruchi.
Thanks, Shubham. Hello, everyone. Keeping your people connected and productive while working remotely. That is the topic for today's episode. We have two amazing guests from the industry who will share their experiences and thoughts on this topic. Since we are live on our YouTube and Facebook channels, please use the same to ask any questions you may have. And just to recap on context, this series by Skillenza aims to assist our TA or HR community to help upskill, reskill, and enhance market understanding. In terms of the format, we will invite industry leaders to join us and share their experiences and views on different topics. Stay connected. We will share information about our next episode and topic via email to you. Let's get started now. So there is no doubt COVID-19 has drastically changed the business landscape in 2020. With more businesses encouraging or requiring employees to work from home, while many employees already do some work remotely, many workers and managers are still trying to adjust to this new shift. Working from home means more distraction, fewer ways to interact naturally with fellow colleagues, or we can say more social isolation, all of which can lead to less productivity. This is what we aim to solve and find answers for during today's session. We have Paramveer from Standard Chartered. He's a vice president with their head early careers unit. He has spent 16 years in the talent acquisition industry and has driven strategy, operational efficiencies with top end HR technology framework. So, welcome, Paramveer.
Thank you.
We also have Subendu, who is co-founder and CEO of Skillenza. Subendu is an active community leader of the Bangalore startup ecosystem. He also leads India's largest online startups community called the Bangalore Startups. One of the CNBC Young Turks. He's also a TEDx speaker. So, welcome, Subendu.
Thank you, Ruchi.
Yeah. So now let's get started with our question. I have my first question for Paramveer. My first question is that remotely working has pushed us towards a completely different style of communication and coordination among colleagues, faster adaptation, and a new workplace. How do you feel about this rapid change as a leader? And how do you keep yourself and your teams energized and motivated through all this?
Sure. Thank you, Ruchi. I think it's just a good question, and honestly speaking, I think we are in this pandemic situation for close to 4.5 months now, 5 months by now. But I think this is the new norm, by the way. And I think before COVID started, before pandemic, happened. So I think till then nobody even thought about it that we can have more than 90-95% strength can work from home irrespective of the organization strength is. So today, if you look at the organizations who have even 35,000 people working in India, and I think more than 95% people are working from home. So was it, has anybody, dreamed earlier? Obviously never, right? And has any of the CEOs, any of the managing directors, for any of the global MNCs, has anybody thought about it that, can we do that? Can we run those functions? Honestly, no. But I think that's a new norm. Almost everybody have accepted that, and so people are more talking about having more engagements while working from home. I think from team motivation perspective, and first and foremost thing we always have to look at it, that so that's the same team with whom you was working even earlier, right? So to your team bonding, so your team connectivities, except having a physical connection, having except having a physical or in person face to face meeting, I think except that, that's everything is same. The way we are having the webinars now, right? So I think earlier those webinars were more of a physical webinars. We used to go to a lot of a good five-star hotels and do that. So we need to connect a lot of industry leaders, a lot of mates from the different organizations. We used to connect with them. But this is more of a time of a virtual environment now. So where we do connect to our team on daily basis. As a leader, I think we just need to trust our people, right? So because that's the first and foremost thing. If we are trusting our people, you may not really have to worry about the deliverables. You don't have to worry about the daily targets, weekly or monthly targets, right? That will be automatically achieved. uh, Giving the free time to your colleagues, your teams, to make sure that they will deliver in their respective times. Because earlier a lot of times, so where your team members or somebody, let's say if it's a female employee, they used to ask like, can I come late, or can I log in from home for some time. Sometime I think as a leader, few of the leaders, they feel that that's not doable, or that may impact the delivery. But I think they have proven wrong now by saying that so everything remains same. It doesn't really matter if you are working from home or working from any of the locations in India. So even there are a lot of organizations, they are going away with the physical facilities, physical infrastructures. Though they are still growing, they have thousands to hire in India even now, but they are not looking at a new real estates, new facilities in India, or new locations to build up new centers. In my recent conversation, one of the senior leader, I think 2 weeks back, there are a couple of hedge funds organization in UK, and their system concern, they had an office in the US. They would like to come to India, but they were not asking about any location at this moment. They said we are happy to have people. I mean, they are okay to register the organization in India, and they want a good solid technicians who can build the applications, who can support them globally, and they don't mind even somebody is sitting in India at any of the locations. They're happy with that. So I think that's a new norm, and people are looking beyond that now. And so I think from team motivation and team connectivity. So I think there are a lot of ways to do that. We are having a lot of chats almost every day. Video chats we have. That the easiest, the best channel we anyway have that for the WhatsApp chat. In case you're a smaller team, if you're a little bigger team, so you can have a lot of free apps even now. So GeoChat, which was recently launched, they're still giving you the entire day session free. You can have a number of sessions with them, and that's again the free of cost. So for the mid-sized organization, they can leverage a lot of the video tools which are available free of cost. And as a big organization, so we have Zoom, we have WebEx, we have Blue Jeans, a lot of other tools, even like Microsoft Teams. So you have those so video tools to have a better connectivity with your team, and so you can keep them motivated, have those personal connections. A lot of time we also understand even now, if we need to set up meeting, we also check with other people, can we set up meeting, are you free, especially for the employees, like the female employees, right? So we are even considering their time. They may be making a lunch, they may be cooking lunch or dinner, or maybe breakfast as well. Are they free at this point of time? And now, and if I'll tell you honestly, this is a typical Western culture. That culture was no more existing in India. So if you are a senior folks, senior professionals, you would have seen that, right? So the people who are working maybe in Singapore region, or in Europe or US, they have a strict time of working, starting from maybe let's say 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., but they don't work beyond, or before that. So those are strict timings, and those are the kind of norms are coming up to India, and that's how the new norm. And I think everybody have accepted that.
Yes, agree, Param, and rightly said by you that this is definitely a new norm what we are seeing across the globe, across the world, and India is definitely adapting a lot of new changes. I really like
Absolutely.
the points Yeah, which you spoke about, especially for women's. I completely agree with you. I can see that leaders are empathizing more on this current situation. How difficult it is, but how good we can make it. um, with this, Subhendu, I would also want to hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts on the same question? How do you keep yourself motivated and your team energized during this pandemic?
Yeah. Thank you, Ruchi. I guess Parambir had very good points. So I'll like to add some more from my side. So not only we have a team which is working remotely, but as part of our business, we help companies to hire talent, right? So what Parambir mentioned, we are seeing it on the front runner, right? We are seeing that companies globally now are thinking, hey, if it's remote, why do I need to hire local talent? I have great talent in India. I can start looking at Indian talent. My infrastructure costs are not going to be high because people are working from home. They've understood how to work from home. So I think it will be a silver lining where we will see from the Indian perspective, Indian ecosystem perspective, we'll see more jobs coming to India. And we have some clients that we are working where they were not thinking about Indian office at all. Now they've started hiring from India, right? So that's one thing. Second is that getting more women into workforce, and that is a real boon for the economy, right?
Yeah.
And this thing will actually push it. We hired one returning mom a couple of months back, and the commitment levels are very high, and they have the freedom. We said, okay, we see. I think that I agree, totally agree with Parambir. At the end of the day, it's about can you get me the result, right? I don't want you to clock in and clock out 9 hours or 10 hours, right? Those days are gone, right? Work and play are now together. So we don't care whether you're working or playing. You get the work done and have fun, right? And what we do is we are a small team, so unlike probably Paramveer team, which is the large company, we are at a little easier space. So, but to have fun, what we do is we have this something called trivia quiz that happens on a daily basis at 5 p.m. on our Slack group. So everybody comes and participates. It's a quiz that happens just like Kaun Banega Crorepati with like movie questions or Harry Potter questions. So we have Harry Potter fans in a company. So some of these things we keep so that everybody feels part of the team, right? And then we also celebrated a birthday on Zoom. So we can come up with innovative ways to keep ourselves energized. But I think giving people freedom and telling them that, hey, you get me the work done. I don't care about your timings now. I think that is something that will keep our all team members motivated, right? Because then people now have more time to spend with their family. I think we were all working for that, right? And in this rat race of going to, let's say, from Kormangla to Whitefield and coming back, right, and spending like 5 hours in traffic, we had lost that. So I think that is something which I think everybody is going to appreciate in coming days.
Yeah. I mean, yes, adding up the fun time in their usual work and empowering your employees more can definitely keep them motivated. With this, Suvendu, I have a next question for you. Speaking of communication, I believe this is the most important element of change during these times. A little error can lead to different results, broken trust, and low morale. It becomes even more important when we need to communicate about a change. To relate this with an example, what we want to understand is that how to best communicate change, maybe for an example about benefits and perks, maybe about working hours, maybe about salary adjustment, or any relevant communication to employees. How do you manage to do that to your employees to reduce the uncertainty and frustration among them?
Right. So basically, I think honesty is the best policy, as they say, right? So being honest and I think showing that as a leader you are also human, right? You have certain limitations, and this is a situation that has put nations right to their knees. Just not companies, but nations to their knees, right? So something that everybody has to understand, right? And being empathetic with your team members, understanding their situation, right? So putting across that, hey, I'm also human like you. We all are trying. We are all in this together, right? I think that sense of togetherness is very important. If that is not there, and if still people are trying to have that relationship of manager and employee in today's time where things have changed, that will not fly, right? So the sense of togetherness is something that we believe in our company. So we are always like talking to our people, and we have these town halls every month where I come online and we speak to everybody, right? So that is something there, and also just making it more personalized connection, right? Understanding where people stand at their personal lives. So that is, these are the two things that I try to practice internally.
Yeah. Paramveer, what are your thoughts on this?
Uh, I think, I mean, honestly, I feel that, like, why we are taking it a different, right? I mean, during our normal days, we used to had a normal connect, right? Maybe it's an in-person connect, right? And we used to had, let's say, a team meeting in the one room, and we used to share all those, benefits, whatever the changes are, what are the organization structure are getting changed, all that we used to, tell our team or our people, like, in the closed room. So I don't see there is any even difference even now, right? So we can have our common team meeting. We can bring all the five people to who are part of the change or even the larger team, if they see also get any impact and all that, right? So we can share those changes as well. And if we talk about more benefits, or let's say for appraisals as well, honestly, I think for last few years, though I'm reporting to my leadership in the out of India locations always, right? So I always had those conversations just on the call. But does that matter? Like, if I'm sitting somebody to next to them, honestly, no. So I think this video facility which we have for last few years, maybe for last almost 10 years, right? So that made people closer, right? And so even if we have a lot of our relatives, friends, we are not meeting them, I think, for ages, but we are still very well connected just because we have video calls. So why we are taking this instance that are too different, that communication will be a challenge. I don't see there's any challenge there. The only difference is, like, this is more of a formal way, and otherwise we anyway have informal ways of chit chatting with our friends and with the families. So having those conversations, professional conversations, working hours, benefits, perks, whatever we need to confirm, or we need to inform to our team or to an individual, I think we can do it much easier way now because you are sitting anywhere in front of them on the video. But I honestly I don't see any change, compared to others earlier times.
Param and Subhabu, this is really a good insight. I'm sure viewers will have some more motivation after hearing this. That definitely honesty, empathy, and doing video calls in this scenario will help you to sail from your any of your negative feelings. So I would want to ask you next question, Paramveer. Emotions are high right now. Teams do not need some time to adjust to this. Do need some time to adjust to this changing atmosphere. How do you go about doing a pulse check in the organization? For example, setting up an employee engagement survey to understand the general mood within your remote workforce, or maybe how employees are feeling, or how typically you do about it, understanding the current mindset of an individual.
Sure, I think, Ruchi, it's a very valid question, and I think a lot of organizations are already going through the employee survey by now, and few of them have already received results as well. But I think, if you look at that, right, so most of the organization, and very honestly, very few leaders actually they do that. They do the pulse check during the time when we are having this employee service. The moment it's out or it is about to come out, right, we started having those engagements to ensure that we motivate our people, we engage them. The output what we expecting is to have the best results for those respective people, right? But can we not do those exercise, can we not do those engagements, interaction throughout the year, right? So that we should not do just at the time when we are about to roll out the service. So if you look at that, that's honestly that's my individual opinion, right? So I think as a leader, we need to have those engagements throughout the year. We need to do the pulse check, ground reality. You should know about it all the time throughout the year, right? And if you just have those sanity checks, just doing just before rolling out the surveys, that is, I mean, I think everybody knows about it by now that like something is coming out. That's what I think the seniors are pretty much active now. But if you will do those throughout the year, nobody even think about it, right? So in fact, that will drive the culture of the organization. That this organization is really, living the core values of the organization. They are actually providing right services. They are having the good engagement for each and every employee, right? And starting from your benefits and each and everything they do throughout the year, not just a time when something is required. I mean, somebody is not, expecting some results to come out. That's what they are, talking to us now. I think that should be the case.
Yeah, agree, Param. What are your thoughts on this, Suvindu?
Yeah, I totally agree with Param. Why should it be just restricted to when you think, oh, there is a situation which demands employee engagement or a survey and understand the pulse of it? Right? It has to be almost like a BA. COVID, non-COVID does not matter, right? At the end of the day, we all are looking at we want to build a healthy organization, right? A productive organization, whether we are working from home or from office or a blended model. So I think that is for sure. We should always practice that. But I think in this current situation, maybe people might be stressed because of the change in working environment, right? Some people are not used to working from home. Some of the things that we should look at is that there could be some way we can help them out in uh, probably some formal training, right? How do you structure your work day? Because these are some productive exercises. If you give them, they might become more productive, right? Probably formal training in form of how do you do that, being productive in the whole day, right? And second thing that I think works for at least small and mid-sized organizations, if not larger, is more one-on-one, right? Where obviously the meetings are happening, but where is that water cooler movement, right? Which was there in a physical environment, where you will go for a coffee and you'll just bump into a team member and you'll just have a chit chat. That serendipity is gone, right? Obviously, the video has enabled us to get connected, do our meetings very formally. There is flexibility in time, but the serendipity is gone for a toss, right? So if organizations can bring that serendipity where say, hey, let's do some one-on-one, right, that might help people to come out of the stress, right? And they probably might not need those surveys, right, to check the pulse. And I totally agree with Parambi that when people see, oh, these guys want some data so that they can go and present to their higher management, okay, TK, we'll do it, but it's not fun, right? At the end of the day, those subtle things we'll obviously miss in the physical world, right? Can we just try to replicate that in our still this COVID environment?
Agree.
And just to add here, right? So I think if when your employees they are doing good job and they should be rewarded. So I think that should be done then and there itself, rather waiting for particular time or quarterly awards. I think that you can anyway nominate somebody is doing the great job every day, every week, every month, right? So that I think that you should nominate them. But otherwise, I think it should be it should be just prompt. Somebody had done a good job. Let's appreciate that. Let's put that on the email and send a good recommendation email, and probably mark CC to the other leaders, your stakeholders, so that also they will get to know that is you are a good leader who always rewarded the people who does a good job.
True, totally agree.
Agree. In fact, both of you have given us a very good point that one-on-one with an individual should be a recurring activity. Employee engagement or employee development should be an recurring activity. It should not be an occasional activity. And with that, rewards and recognition again should be a recurring activity. So, with this, I have a next question, and I would like to ask this next question to Suvendu. This is a great time to reinforce company values that brings employees together. Reiterate the need to lift them at this critical time and stay together through this battle. How to maintain that collaboration, mutual trust, and friendship among people who spend a lot of time together at work.
I think I'll do a shameless plug here that One of the things that we have seen, which some of our customers have started embracing, is doing cross-functional team activities, right? So obviously, you are working together as a team for certain project, but what about the other team? Like I said, the serendipity is gone for a toss. How do you bring the serendipities? Saying, hey, let's think also about the future of the company, right? So when like I said, togetherness is very important. Serendipity is the second one. And if you, I think a lot of people know this fact that Newton actually was stuck like us, we are lesser mortals in when we compare ourselves to Isaac Newton, but he was stuck in same pandemic in London, and he actually discovered gravity and all lot of equations at that point in time. But those, and it was for a 2 year period. This was probably in 1665, I guess, and that's when he did so much discovery, right? And I think we should all think in that direction as organizations, be it a small company like us, startup like us, or a larger enterprise, bringing employees together and saying that, hey, let's work together for the future of the company, and mix match the team, right? Where you are not working with a current team member, but you are working with a new team member from a different city or from a different geography, and building innovation, new directions for the company, right? That way, the collaboration is still there, right? And it's a fun activity, right? That's what we call as hackathons. So a lot of our clients are now doing virtual hackathons inside their team member, and kind of discovering new ideas and new products for the going business, right? And it's a great time to do it. If people are at home, they can collaborate virtually with the teams that they might not have ever worked, right? So that's a new thing, new connections that you will do inside your organization, right? So these couple of these things are working very well for our clients and for us internally also.
Agree.
And I would like
Agree.
to add here, Ruchi, so on Shubhendu's point as well. I think he very well said that. But I think, so I mean, putting up training plans and putting them together in a one war room, and having a lot of team meetings together to make sure that they will have strong bonding at the same time. But honestly, to me, I think we are again making this kind of a biased environment, like oh, we are into different environment. We shouldn't, like make a difference what we used to do it earlier, what we are doing now, right? The only one thing is maybe we should take it more positively, that we have more flexibility to deliver, we have more flexibility to work, and the kind of environment we are getting into, we can sit easily, relax at home. And like Shubhendu mentioned earlier, you don't need to run around from Whitefield to Kormangla or Kormangla to Maneta, Hebal, and so you need to travel maybe for 2 hours one side, and then you have to do the productivity for 9 hours. Again, you have to come back and to spend time with the family. So either you can be charged up for the entire day, or you will be simply gone during your travel time, or you will be spoiling your personal lifetime. So now I think we should take it more positively, that we have more time with the family. You can have a breakfast, lunch, dinner, all three meals with your family. You can, sneeze some time between your daily schedule, and you can see that, okay, so I can now, I have to maybe sit with my kid for some time. You can also do that. So take it positively rather saying negatively, that like, okay, so I think it's a new time. How we will do that? Unless you are not creating that negativity, anxiety in your mind, I don't think there's any difference in the time which you had even earlier or now.
Yeah, I totally agree with Param. I think it's just how we are perceiving the situation, right? It's time to look inward, right? It's time to be more human, spend more time with the loved ones and the near and dear ones, right? That we always missed. It was never the case when you are stuck in a city like Bangalore or Bombay, right? The traffic just kind of takes a lot of time from us. So I think that's a really silver lining in the cloud, and I totally agree with Param that it's the perception how we want to assess the situation. Right, we can always take a lot of good things out of the situation.
So while I think Shubhendu was talking about, I remember there's a one video was launched recently by Sundar Pichai, right? And he was talking about the time when he flown from India to US for his further studies, and he said I think his father spent his entire, I think 1 or 2 months salary to spend his one side ticket from India to US for his study, and then so he went for on the scholarship and all that. Though he had a less charges to pay for the fee and all, but still so his father spent the entire 1 month salary to just pay his air tickets. And then And that was a financial crisis time globally. There are a lot of challenges, a lot of people who are passing out those colleges during those days. They said that's not the right time even for the further studies. IITs is just going down and all that. So much negativity, but today we can see where he is now, right? So honestly speaking, that was a video. I think when he launched that, I sent that video to all my campus grads to whom we are supposed to onboard in next couple of months time. So I sent that video to everybody, that hey, this is a video, you should really look at that. That's a motivation video, right? That will inspire you, right? So CEO or an individual like like Sundar Pichai, who had those dreams, they took those challenges as a positivity, and they bring those anxiety into the passion. And now we know that, right? Everybody like where he is and what exactly he's delivering to the world. So look at those prospects, and so look at more positive videos, look at more positive things, and do more fun. I think that will so keep you out from the anxiety. Otherwise, so with the anxiety and all, I mean, you will not get anything except more health problem or family problems.
So true, so true. So I think the answer to this question was really, really insightful. Hearing about Newton, hearing about Sundar Pichai, and thank you so much, Param and Subandhu, to bring that motivation level. While asking you a question, it is energizing me more that I should keep on going, ask more, so that we will hear more insight, and this can definitely change or bring motivation. In our viewers, or whomsoever is going to watch us now or later. So with this, I have my next question for you, Param. I think most of us will agree that this change in working style is going to stay for a longer run, and the lines between work and personal life are getting thinner. How do you manage the work life balance, and your advice to our fellow listeners on striking the balance between work and personal time?
Probably I'll take first, Shivendra. Thank
Sure,
you.
please.
So so I think that again that again goes back to our a lot of previous points, right? So why we are considering this time at a different time. But so if we still feel that, like earlier, if we are leaving our home by 9ish in the morning, reaching office by 9:30, 10, and we are bound in one office for 9 hours time, in case you are working exactly for 9 hours, and then you are coming back to home, and you're spending your entire day, I think maybe 11, 12 hours you're out from home. Now you don't have to be out of your home, right? So you are at your home. So as I said, that you can enjoy all three meals while sitting with your next to your family. You can enjoy time with your kids whenever you need that. You just need to sneeze, maybe let's say for half an hour time in between. You can go back and talk to your kids, and you can play with them. You are not feeling well, you can take a break or power nap for an hour or two, right? You can push your meeting, or something is required to be delivered, but everybody knows that you can deliver at the end of the day. Nobody will push you hard to do it at the same time, right? So you can also take that power nap time as well. Was that possible earlier? Honestly, it was, but so you need to move out from your office, or probably you need to go to medical room for maybe for an hour or something like that. But again, you have to register yourself that I came to medical room X Y the reasons, this much time I'm logging out, this much time, right? Nobody is tracking it, but still that somebody may check later on as well that you was there, right? But now when you are at home, you can manage within yourself. You have more luxury to have a more work-life balance compared to earlier times.
What are your thoughts on that, Suvindu?
Yeah, I think I totally agree with Param. What he started the talk, right? Why are we thinking it's a different time, right? I think we all have to introspect and think like, why is it different? Why are we kind of blaming the situation, right? We have to take a lot of positive things out of what is happening, and I totally agree. I think when we are discussing in our before the talk that I love cooking. So I have got a lot of time today to explore my hobby. I think that's the first thing that people should. I would encourage everybody to pick up that one thing that you always wanted to do and always say that, oh, kar lenge, we'll do it in next week, we'll do it next month. because I don't have time, because I have work and I have to travel, blah blah blah, right? I think all those excuses, you have to just throw them out a window. We have enough time today to explore our inner self, right? I think everybody has that one thing that they really love apart from work, right? So you should explore that, because that will bring you a lot of inner happiness, and that will probably not push you towards that anxiety and stress level. Right? I think that's the first thing. I'm practicing it myself. Right? I love cooking, but usually I'll do it on a Sunday. I almost cook all three meals today. Right? So that's fun. So work and play is mixed, right? And you are the one who are in control of the ship now. So you don't have to blame anybody. Yeah, like I said, one thing that I would request a lot of leaders out here, that if we change the style of management, saying that, hey, I'm more focused on goal now. I don't I don't care your clock in clock out time. I just give me the result, right? Give me the end output. That will bring that change, saying that, hey, now the company is focused on output, so I can balance my work and time, so I can have both together, right? And that's how the balance will happen.
Yeah, and I think just to add, maybe one is changing leadership style a little bit, but as a second is to have more trust to your team members and give them freedom to play around within those time frames. So it doesn't really matter if somebody is delivering the results in maybe on the same day, or maybe he's spending a little more time. Let's give them outright, so that's a time for them also to prove themselves, because they can do more work and they can be more productive while sitting at home. So I think everybody is going through the same scenario. So it doesn't make sense. If we are unnecessarily pressuring somebody, we need something to be done next 2 hours time. So, and I don't see, unless somebody really have a pressing need, that's still fine. But so things can be managed well.
Yeah, yeah. So true, Param and Suvendu. I personally feel that everyone is sailing in same boat. So whether it's a leader, whether it's a subordinate, or whether it's a consultant or a contractor, we all have to empathize each other, and we all have to understand that personal life is equally important. Then only we can see that change. Uh, with this, I have my last question before we move ahead with viewers' question. So, Vendu, I would want to ask this question to you.
Sure.
This question is on performance measurement. Any thoughts that you would like to share with us on change in performance measurement that you expect to arrive? What kind of questions and views you hear from fellow colleagues on career growth, or maybe aspiration nowadays, and how one should prepare for the changes, if any.
Yeah. So I think, like Paramveer mentioned, right? I'm kind of hooked to that idea, that why change, right? I think it's we have to continue the BAU. Some of the things that I think would matter going forward is, would there be an index that we all can come up with, saying, hey, are people remote ready, right? Are they ready to work remotely? Which is, can they take like what Paramveer mentioned, right? Which I also stress it, give the team members or the employees a chance to focus on the output. Now, when you have, and then with more power, right, comes more responsibility, right? When you empower them, saying, hey, now we are focused on output, so I don't care about your clock in and clock out time. But then, as an employee, I'm thinking, hey, I have got more power, and my responsibility is towards the company, right? At the end of the day, that employee-employee relationship has not gone out, right? The dynamics have changed. So now, with that, are they able to go to those numbers, right? And the KPIs won't change. The OKRs won't change for most organizations, right? So there, are they remote ready, right? So something which is a topic of, you can say, scientific interest, which a lot of our HR community leaders can chime in, and we all can build it together. But there's something that we would do a psychometric testing here. There's a culture fit, but what is the new culture, right? What are the new culture we are building, and are we seeing if people are remote ready, and can they be very productive in this environment where they're working from home, they have a great work-life balance, and still being able to communicate very frequently and get the work done, right? I think that is something that I would look at personally. I would in fact, would love to hear Param's thought, how the performance management might change or not, right?
Just on the second point, right? So, Ruchi, which you asked a question like, how one should prepare for the change. My question to them is why you are looking out for change, right? Uh, I'm considering everybody, so when we know that, there is a problem outside, why can't we stay back home?
Hmm.
Right? And if we know that, right? So everybody in the industry, right? So they are facing challenges. There are organizations is going from this, a financial crisis. There is a lot of turbulence across the world. I think your focus should be more towards your personal family, your health and safety, rather making a change even this tough time. And honestly, it may be bitter, but that's a fact, right? So if you leave the firm now, you will join another firm. You have to start your journey from scratch again. You have to start proving yourself, from zero again. You are already in the organization where you have proven yourself, you are doing pretty well, and you are happy with that particular firm as well. Unless there are pressing needs or organization is not asking you to leave for certain reason or any other reason for that matter, I would suggest to everybody to stay back home, right? Stay back to your same organization, because there you don't have to start your journey from zero again, right? Even if you will be talking to your manager saying that, like, okay, so today I'll log in a little late because of X Y reasons, your manager will not say anything to you. But if you will say the same thing to your new manager after joining a new firm, right? So they may start observing you from your attitude that, so the day you join in, you started coming late, you started logging in late, right? So why you want the other people to judge you just because of those reasons, which is very normal thing, right? But that normal things comes up when you have proven yourself. So those things become norm when you are, a regular employee of the organization for long. Your manager knows you very well, you know him very well, you have built that relationship, you maintained it well, so nobody will question you. So why you want that somebody should start questioning you from the day one or first week or first month onwards, when you are looking out for change and joining a new organization, right? As I said, that unless somebody really have a pressing need, would really suggest to, stay back to your same organization. Don't make a change.
Good.
This is
I
really
totally agree. I think once you blend in the organization, then you have the leverage and relationship, right? The camaraderie with your managers and team members, where you can rely on them, saying, "Hey, I have some work or I cannot work today. Can you chime in for me?" Cannot happen in the first week of work where everything is virtual today, right? So that is something that people should keep in mind. It's good time to hold back, relax, spend time with family, have fun. I think once things come back to more normal, right? At least come back to that speed, and then they can always go back, right? And always look for better opportunities. But one thing that I think people should do is great time to work on your personal growth, right? Don't need to change jobs, but at least work on skills that you always thought that I should have picked. Like I said, like it could be your hobby, it could be a pick skill that you wanted to pick. Great time to do that. There are no excuses at all. Zero excuses.
Yeah, in fact, so I think during this time, rather making a change, you can pick up new skills. If you are in HR, start learning HR analytics. If you
Yeah.
are into, say, in the business side, or or into more into technology side, start learning data science,
Yeah.
machine learning, AI, because that's the future, right? So start picking up new skills, upskill yourself, so that the moment things become normal, you should be the best one in the market. People should run behind you, rather you are changing the companies now in this tough time.
Yeah. Totally
So
agree.
I believe so. I think this is the time for you to invest in yourself, right? There are a lot of free websites, free companies like EDX, Coursera. So there are a lot of other organizations. They provide a lot of free courses as well, which they have a tie-up with the international universities, colleges, and all that, and you get lectures done by directly by those professors coming from the international universities. You will get certifications as well. That again, international certifications. So what else you need? So you can build or you can make your CV best fit the moment things become normal. So then you will be the priciest person or maybe the costliest person in the world, or maybe in that particular domain. When somebody is looking out and you may feel pricey, you may feel proud that like that the tough time during a tough time of the industry, you invested in yourself and you upskill yourself.
so true.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Param and Suvendu. The insights, the guide, the help what you have shared today in this top on this particular topic is really incredibly helpful. To summarize this session of keeping people connected and productive while they work remotely, it's important to empower your employees, especially in these times. Give employees the flexibility, for example, on working hours, leaves, etc. Enable and encourage knowledge sharing. This is very important for employee development. Attract and keep talent by giving them career advancement opportunities. Encourage peer-to-peer feedback to build stronger community sense and motivating environment. And very importantly is like train your people managers. It's important to even let them know that how can they can take better care of their remote works. With
Yeah.
this now I would anything else, Subendu and Param, you would want to add here while we are summarizing this topic?
I think you have put a great summary. So let's see what our audience today has to say. Right? Do they agree with us? Do they have any comments for us? Any suggestions?
Sure. So now I would like to open up this forum for our viewers. Please feel free to type in your questions or your thoughts about this topic. So we have our one question, which is asked by Thiru Raman. His question is, Param, I would want to hear your thoughts first on this. How you are keeping morale of the employees during these stressful situations?
I think that's what we discussed. I think in your first, maybe your second question, I believe, right? So where we will have more, engagement sessions with the team. We will be more frequently talking to them, understand their personal nuances as well, understand their personal journey, how they are going through it, right? So the family is safe, friends are safe, your society members across, areas that's neat and clean. There's no challenge and all that, right? Earlier, because we used to sit next to each other, having lunches together, tea coffee breaks together, right? So then we have a lot of chit chat, and then we build the relationships. Now we need to leverage those relationship and take it further, build more, having constructive talks and ask people like, what we can do better, right? So that will help other people to think more, and they will be more engaged towards the project, more towards the delivery side, more towards the work challenges, like what we can do better, how we can automate few of the things which are being our day-to-day job. Can we do something different there, right? And can we make it our delivery better? Can we make our deliveries more efficient, right? So I think in those lines, when we are talking to anybody, in our team, definitely, like, they feel more encouraging, they feel more, so valuable in the team, and they come up definitely with the new ideas as well.
Yeah. So Vendu, would you like to add your thoughts on this?
Yeah. So I think a couple of things that I mentioned. One is uh, one-on-one kind of meetings where that the thing that we used to share, right, eating together, lunch or coffee, that has to keep happening in the company, right? If the work has become more transactional, that might bring in some fun. And some of the things that we always do is, like I said, we play quizzes every day. So that is something that I really like. Very simple, 10-15 minutes fun activity. There's a quiz happens, leaderboard happens, so people claim that I just won the quiz today, right? That small things will bring those moments of joy, right? So these two things might help, along with what Parambir suggested, right? If you do these things, formal, informal things, definitely, and I guess from the beginning, right? It's a situation where we are all in the same boat. We have to go through it, right? So that if people have accepted that, then as employers, as leaders, we can do these things to keep the moral high, right? But everybody has to also understand that we are all in this together, right? It's not that I am at very least and others are at risk. I'm at also risk, right?
Right.
Maybe just more ideas, right? So you can have family get together virtually. You can bring
Yeah,
your
exactly.
all the team members can bring your families together. They can have a chat at least to say hi, right? Your
Yeah,
family, your wife, your kids will get to know who are my dad's colleague, or my mother's colleague in the office as well. You can say hi, hello, at least that's more there, right? And maybe once a week. It may be too early, but so we can have once in 2 weeks time as well. Bring your own drink, because now you're sitting at home. Doesn't really matter. You are having a hard drink, soft drink, coffee, whatever, right? So you will not have restrictions to have even
Like,
beer while having your office work, right? So
PG.
I'm not saying like you can do that when you're in office back again, but still so bring your own drink. That let the individual to choose what drink they are carrying,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And make it more innovative. Ask the person to explain about that drink, what the drink is, how you made it, why you had that mood to bring that drink, not really a coffee or not really a hard drink, why soft drink today. So all that make it more fun. That is more engaging with everybody, and then you will get to know the person side of your colleagues as well.
Yeah.
So true, so true.
I think Param the true Punjabi speaks, right?
Honestly, I have done that. I have done that in my team, and fortunately, so I have my global teams whom we are working with. So I have colleagues in Singapore, Hong Kong, Malaysia, India. Then so we have even in Pakistan, Bangladesh, UK, US as well. So when we
Mhm.
had that session, right? So you can't believe. So almost everybody were into a different time zone, right? So
Uh,
the moment the call was sometime in the afternoon, that was my lunch time. I can only have coffee, right, or maybe a soft drink at the max. But my
yeah.
colleague, she who just wake up in morning in UK, she will definitely have a coffee, nothing else.
Nothing
Or
else.
maybe the colleagues so who are in Australia, they are almost ending their day. It's a night time, so they can't bring coffee. They may definitely like to have a drinks, right, hard drinks.
Yeah.
So that's how when we are having that mix of diverse talent coming from different regions together, and you have a different mood as well. You are getting different drinks. That was totally fun.
And I think that will spark a lot of conversation. I think that's what we are all looking at, right? Talking to each other. Right? That's what we're
Correct.
missing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just for fun, right? Maybe,
Yeah.
so you can have choose another day to get a, team updates, or maybe, your regular updates, your delivery updates, but you can keep, 1 hour or maybe 2 hours in a week, or maybe, once in 2 weeks time. That is just for the fun. And you can have it any of the Fridays. I think that's a trend mostly in India as now, right? So most of the Fridays people go out and have fun. So if
Yeah.
even if they can't do it now, to going out, why can't we have it virtually? Let's do that.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, so true.
Right.
Uh, we have a next question in place, and this is from Komal. Her question is, can you please share the ways to reduce attrition in this pandemic? Param, would you like to go first?
Yeah. So I mean, I think a question back to her is, what were the other ways to reduce attrition when it was a normal day? Why are you doing something really different, right?
Yeah.
So again, question back. I mean, maybe the same point which we discussed earlier. Let's not consider this time a different time, right? Even if somebody has to try it, even now they would have thinking on leaving the firm, not even now, maybe 4 5 months back, right? To find out the triggers, find out the reason, what were the reason for the person to look for a change or resigning even now, considering there's a tough time. Person may not be joining a good firm even at that particular time, but why the person is leaving, what was the trigger, right? So honestly speaking, if somebody have already resigned, you can't get them back unless so you are making their compensation double, or giving them some promise for the compensation, I mean for the promotion and all that. They may not stay back. But so if you will find out the trigger, what were the reasons for this person to move on, and not staying back for having even the lot of conversations, at least that will stop. Or maybe stop. You can work on that reasons, and you can try to stop if other people are also thinking in the same line, even if they are thinking to try it maybe in future, so that you can work around it. But so I think honestly there is no thumb rule, like if you will do this thing, that your attrition from 10% will go down to 8%. There's no other reasons for that, right? But I think, as I said, as we discussed even earlier, and that was summarized in Ruchi's comments as well. Put the training plans for all the employees, so that they can learn quite a new things. And so for a lot of things what they are looking at in their future plans, or in case they would like to build a new skills, right? So provide a platforms. As I said, there are a lot of free platforms are available a lot of organizations are signing up, even certification doesn't cost to them. So if you are getting those arrangements done for your existing employees, not really they will be busy doing those things and may not think about leaving the firm, but at least they will see the organization effort. Even this particular tough time, organization is supporting them and upskilling them and making them future ready. Maybe for so for the person who's leaving the firm, for employee it is for their skill enhancement, even for current and for future as well.
Any thoughts from you, Subendu, on the same question for Komal?
Yeah, I'm on the same page. Great time for leaders to kind of upskill, reskill their team members, right? Where so that they can choose some of, like, a lot of employees might have in mind saying, "Hey, I wanted to do that project, but I don't have the skill." Right? It's a great time to give them that skill because then they feel empowered that the organization cares about them, right? And that's a good gesture from the leadership team saying, "Hey, we really care about you, your skill, and the value you bring on table." Right? So that's one of the things that would really help. And I totally agree. Nothing has changed. Whatever we were doing, we always want an open environment, right? Be placed for people to learn and collaborate. That should not go away. Nothing has changed, right? So that has to be there in order for you to decrease the attrition, right? So COVID, non-COVID, those thumb rules are always there. But something that we can all do today because we have probably some time in hand is investing in ourselves. And when the company is doing it on your behalf, that is a good gesture, right? That company can do towards their team members, employees, and a lot of employees will truly appreciate that.
Thank you so much. I think we are on time. Shubham, do you want to add something before we close the show?
No, I guess Paramveer and Shubhendan, you like pretty much covered it up. So it was really a good session.
Okay. Thanks to all the viewers for joining us today. We wish to see you in our next episode. Stay tuned. And thanks a ton, Paramveer and Subendu, for joining us today. The insights from you were really helpful.
Thank you, Ruchi, for having us. Thanks,
Thank you,
Shubham.
Ruchi,
Thanks
for
for,
inviting us. Thank you, Shubhendu. Thanks,
yeah.
Shubham.
Have a good day. Be safe. Yeah.
Thanks so
And
much.
Bye.
Bye bye.